This episode is brought to you by Bureau, our title sponsor. With 8 vibrant locations in Miami's best neighborhoods, Bureau is the perfect co-working place to work, network, and thrive alongside other entrepreneurs, creatives, professionals, and local businesses. Find your space at bureaumiami.com.
Cool.
Well, we're sitting down with Anna Analytics.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Anna Bozovic from Anna Analytics.
That's right.
But
my last name is so difficult that people just say...
Anna Analytics.
Anna
It's got a great ring to it.
Yeah, it does.
It was my track nickname.
Really? Analytics?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
So before I was a jiu-jitsu practitioner, so that's my weird hobby that I do now every day, I was actually a sprinter. I came in second in the country in my age group in the 400 meters.
Wow.
Actually, the first year
Wow.
I did it. And so as much as I trained jiu-jitsu, I was in the track all the time in Flamingo Park in South Beach. And the 400... for those who may not know, is a very painful race. It's basically a long sprint. You have to go 95 to 98% of your best 200 and somehow keep going with lactic acid and so forth in the last 100 meters. So there are a few turns involved, these things. And I would always ask all these questions at the track. And I think I just talk too much. And my training partners would be like, just shut up and run. And they started calling me Analytics in the track. My friend Davis, shout out to him. He started calling me Analytics in the track. And then when it came time to name the LLC about 10 years ago, I was thinking what to name, and I went to the track, and he was like, "Hey, Analytics, what's up?" And I said, "That's the name."
That's awesome. Well, cheers, Analytics.
Yeah,
We're
cheers.
drinking martinis. We got a cheers.
Cheers.
It's a ritual.
Oh, I love it. Well, thank you. Cheers. Thank you guys for having me again.
Felipe cooked up a good martini. Mm-hmm. Tastes good to me anyway.
Excellent.
Feel free to critique it.
So Ed and I met through Russell Galvin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? I didn't know. That's cool.
And so
Early morning bike ride.
Early morning bike
nice,
ride. Yeah.
nice.
So Russell had come onto the podcast, and a couple weeks later, it's like he had mentioned that he rides bicycles. So we ended up meeting at Russell's pad in South Beach.
The compound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then riding over to his brother's place, and then over to his hotel in downtown. Mm-hmm. And so that's where we connected. But I've been following you for a while, Anna, on social media, and we really don't have too many Resi people come on the podcast.
Nelson, we had.
Yeah, Nelson Gonzalez, and that's pretty much it.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, and so we have the guys from IRR and CoStar come on to talk about commercial real estate, but I think it's an interesting time in the residential real estate market, and wanted to get your read on it. You sent us a couple of decks. Ben and I took a deep dive into it. It was pretty cool. There's lots to talk about.
Thank you.
But before we get into that, we always like to find out a little bit more about our guests, where they came from. You're a New Yorker. Where did you grow up in New York?
Well, I was born in Belgrade. I was
Okay.
Yugoslavia when I was born, and then my family moved to New York City when I was 3.
Okay.
So I did grow up in New York City. When I was very small, when I was 3, we lived in Riverdale, where I was in New York City. That's
In the Bronx.
Mm-hmm. Then I went to school on the Upper West Side. I went to Columbia. So,
But back it up. So your parents are from Belgrade. They came over to, what were they doing in Belgrade, and why did they come
the whole
to?
deep dive. I love this.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. And so what brought them to the Big Apple?
Great question. So this was before the conflict. It's not related to the wars in Yugoslavia. This was in Serbia. This was in the mid 80s. So this was before that. So actually, I was born in Belgrade, but it was Yugoslavian. People moved around. My father's from Montenegro. My mother's from Macedonia. So we'll call it was all Yugoslavia. And then we came to America. So my father got his PhD in New York. And
In what?
Electrical engineering.
Okay.
And then I always thought that was the main vehicle towards coming to the U.S. was the higher education vehicle. But actually, I learned very recently that wasn't actually, that is true. He got his PhD in America, but what actually enabled him to get it was something related to sports, because I think he was European karate champion. He was the national team for karate in Yugoslavia.
Oh, wow.
And there was a sports connection to coming to America.
So you guys like to fight in your family. You do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, they'd love to mess people up.
Yeah. I'm going to fuck this person up right now.
I mean, there's a strong genetic component to sports, what he would say.
That's awesome.
So I'm sorry. So he was karate champion of Europe or something like that?
Yeah, and it was the national team in Yugoslavia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
Cool.
badass.
And so he came over to the U.S. to study or
To study.
kick ass?
No, to study.
To study?
He quit, but I think
Okay.
there was something related to sports performance or some special visa. Because I learned, I'll also like disclosure, I don't really speak to my parents for most of my adult life, but I learned that there was actually something to do with the sports achievement, which enabled us to come. But then he did immediately get his PhD here, but I think the sports helped with the visa. I don't know the details, but I learned this recently.
Super
Gotcha.
cool. So you grew up in, you did elementary school and high school in New York City?
Yes, I went to Riverdale Country School.
For elementary school too?
The whole thing, 1 through
Okay.
12,
All right.
same school.
But you grew up you grew up in Manhattan.
No, so when I was a kid, well, until I graduated until I was 17, we lived in Riverdale.
Okay.
And then I went to Columbia, and then I never went back home, so I stayed in campus. I lived in Manhattan after that.
All right.
What
And
did you major in at Columbia?
I studied math and physics.
Okay.
And I really was drawn to very strange theoretical stuff. So I liked anything with a lab that you could touch was of no interest to me. I liked space-time physics, topology, modern geometry, things like this.
That's sick.
Sounds terrible.
I love that stuff.
It's fun.
I understand like 0.01%
Yeah,
of
that's
it, but
why
I think it's really
I feel
cool.
so stupid when I talk to people
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yo, I'm like, what the? I
No,
don't have
it's
idea.
you know, I am also, since we're doing a deep dive here, I hated school with a passion.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, horribly. I
But you were a good student.
despite myself,
Yeah.
I did nothing.
Yeah.
To be very, very honest. So people ask why I went to Columbia. I did not try to get in. I hand wrote my application. I took my SATs cold. I did not. I hated school. Like, and I don't mean to sound mean. I went to a small private school. They were very good to me in retrospect. Everyone was nice to me. They kind of accommodated my eccentricity,
Yeah.
whatever it is you want to call it. But I stand behind everything I said. I think that traditional school is where your innovation and creativity goes to die in most cases. And I felt that it was prison for children, and I resented the time wasting.
I feel the same way.
Well, Riverdale Country School, I grew up in Westchester County. So Riverdale was kind of poshy private school, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
And it was small, so they were tolerant of
Yeah.
me. Like I remember, and also, I mean, I wasn't. I didn't really get along with my parents when I was a kid, so it wasn't a generally happy time, which is going to cloud my school experience. But no, I stand by everything I said. I found school to be an abject waste of time, and all the time. I'm completely serious. I would rather let a kid play in dirt than sit in rows and pretend to listen. I think it's horrible. It just stifles your brain.
Yeah.
And I used to tell them, can I just take the test and be done? Like, why am I sitting here? And so really, I went to Columbia. I fenced when I was younger. I was a very competitive fencer. And
You're quite on your LinkedIn. You were a swimmer as well, or
I did that before fencing. Yeah.
And what else? What other sports? Basketball
I
too.
played basketball. I played volleyball. Yep.
Yeah.
And then but fencing was my first like serious sport.
Yeah.
And I would train 4 or 5 hours a day. I walk up to the gym.
She's a multi-sport athlete like myself, Ben.
She can stab people. She can take them to the ground. You know.
This is why I love jiu-jitsu though, because I didn't love I loved track and field enough. Like I liked it, but I really prefer opponent sports.
Yeah.
And jiu-jitsu is like athletic 3D fencing. That makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And I became a total jiu-jitsu addict later. But yeah, so I love New York City, and I wanted to stay with my coach and stay in New York, and so I just went to Columbia as like a default option. But I was really not into school. It's not.
Yeah.
It
What
was
about
not a dream.
school specifically that drove you crazy? Was it just like the limitations they placed on you, or the inability to pursue what you were interested in?
All of it. The whole
Yeah.
thing was horrible. I
Yeah.
liked nothing about it.
I feel the same way.
And
yeah.
and nobody. This is like not like a bullying sob story. Nobody was mean to me.
Right.
Like Riverdale was a very nice place. I had friends where people were nice to me. I wasn't abused. Nothing like that. It was just a horrible waste of time.
What do you think you would have done if you hadn't gone to school?
Oh, good question.
Like, what would you have pursued?
I mean, I really did
Because I would
like.
have been snowboarding. That's my problem.
No, so I mean, I love sports. So sports has always been a big part of my life, and I really genuinely liked the higher level math that I studied towards the end at Columbia. So I could have done that sooner, in my opinion, rather than wasting
theoretical
time.
physics.
Yeah. Even though I was very young when I did it, but you know what I mean? Like, it was just the whole construct of school is just a very, even at a small private school, which is going to be at a higher level than general education, it was so horrifyingly boring. I was right in everything I said. Like, what's the purpose of this? You're sitting there in a row, all at the same pace, doing what? And I think it just like, I mean, it's not conspiracy. It was all created as part of a system to create worker bees. Like, sit in rows and do this. And why?
Yep. To work in factories, yeah.
100% to create workers. And if you're an intelligent kid, it kills you.
Yeah. Do we live in a simulation?
You might. Who knows?
We're gonna talk about the sim today.
I feel like she might know.
I know. I feel
That's
like
a great question. I
talking
wonder about this
space
all the
time.
time. It's well, if you look at all the great thinkers of history, is it Tesla, Einstein, all of them, they all said very much the same things using different vocabulary, that we're all energy, it's all connected, and it's all vibration and energy.
The thing that blows my mind about this topic is the, man, I'm gonna make myself sound dumb, but what's the name of that the double slit experiment?
Yes, that's right.
You know, the observational effect.
Correct.
That's the weirdest thing to me.
There are many weird things like that, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
No idea what you guys are talking about.
No?
But let's going back to school though.
Okay.
I mean, what were you? Okay, you like sports. You're obviously sound like you're pretty smart. I mean, you got a degree from.
I dropped out.
You dropped out of what?
Columbia.
Okay, you dropped out. Okay, but what
At
were
the
you
end of my junior year,
what were you interested in high school, and what kind of like motivated you? Like, did you like a particular subject? Did you like to read?
To be honest, high school was a very difficult time for me because I was very not happy at home.
Yeah.
And school was very easy for me and very boring for me. So I just did a lot of sports.
Okay.
School was very easy and horrifyingly boring.
Gotcha.
And so I did very well in school. You know, I got into an Ivy League school without trying, but I don't see this like as an achievement because to me it was just like it was there.
Yeah.
And I didn't care. And I remember my orientation week at Columbia, they put you in these groups of like 6-7 kids with the upperclassmen, the what do they call them? The person in the dorm with you. And everyone was talking about, you know, kids came from all over the place, and everyone was talking about how it was their dream to be there. And I remember thinking, really? I swear.
It was like, what a pathetic dream.
I'm like, you guys dreamed about this? Like, I don't know, like,
This is so lame.
Shit.
So what'd you do after college?
Well, so you dropped out of college.
after my junior year?
Yeah, what'd you do after
right
that?
towards that, all this sounds crazy.
Did you find any subjects that you were interested in there?
No, absolutely. So what I really was very interested in, which made me very happy, was the modern geometry, space-time physics, things like this, particle physics even. And I did that towards the end. I mean, I was taking graduate level things when I was 19. I was the only girl and youngest person in the room, but it all sounds kind of nuts that I dropped out when I was 19, right? But I realized that. So I had these delusions that I wanted to do research or get a PhD because I started college when I was 17, and I never chose because I didn't really come from a happy place, if that makes sense. And so no one ever sat me down and was like, hey, like, what do you really want to do in life? I never had these constructive conversations. It was just, okay, the sports was always my refuge. That was my happy place. And when I was 16, 17, school was just a nuisance, and it was super easy and boring and vaguely horrible, and I wasn't happy at home. And so it was just, okay, here I am. I never approached any of it from a happy place of
This all sounds very Eastern European.
It does.
So I had this delusion that I was like, oh, I'll get a PhD and go into science. So I did research 2 summers, and academia is definitely not for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And I was like, okay, I definitely don't want to be in academia. And then it was kind of like, what is this path that I'm on? It was not a path that I chose ever. It was like one kind of like thing after another. And I wanted to stay in New York, and I'm there. And I never wanted to get a regular job. That much I knew.
The sim was fucking with you, huh?
Huh?
The sim was fucking with you.
Totally. I was like, where am I? I don't want a regular job. I don't want, like, I felt very strongly this path led me to nothing that I wanted, and it wasn't a path of my choosing. And so I just left.
And where'd you go?
No, I stayed in New York, but I was on my own and left the path. And so then I just did, this was like, I'm dating myself, I'm pretty old. This was like very early thousands. So people were, initially when I was a kid, when I was like 20, 21, I did a lot of stuff helping businesses get online, things like that. It was early days of the internet, so a lot of people needed help with that. And anyone who studied science like that can do basic coding, who cares? So I used to help people do that. And then, things evolved from there.
Ben, you know what they say in real estate, if people don't know you, they're not doing business with you.
Exactly. That's why the Built World podcast works with top-of-mind public relations, because being a best-kept secret sure doesn't pay the bills.
Paula Uspa Abbott, the brains behind Top of Mind PR, is a former real estate journalist, so she knows exactly what makes the media pay attention.
And let's be real, getting in the press isn't just about bragging rights. It's about building credibility, landing deals, and making sure the right people know your name.
Whether it's top-tier media coverage, killer storytelling, or just making sure you're the one people think of first, Top of Mind PR has you covered.
Want to stand out? Hit up topofmind-pr.com or email info@topofmind-pr.com.
Because in real estate, if you're not visible, you're invisible. Ben, you and I are all about PropTech, and if there's one tool we absolutely cannot live without for our commercial real estate brokerage business, it's Vizda.
Absolutely. Vizda is incredible. We use it every single day, and we're always wondering, how do they do this? Every evening we get an email from them with real-time closed transactions. No more waiting around for months for the property appraiser to finally update.
Yeah, whether you're doing industrial, retail, office, land deals, they have every closed transaction. And it's not just the speed, Ben. The details are on point. Seller and buyer info, contact details, phone numbers, emails, everything is accurate.
It's hands down our top prospecting tool to farm for warehouse deals in Hialeah. Vizda keeps us one step ahead always. It's also the best way to search for comps when putting together opinions of values for clients.
Head on over to Vizda.com and use code BuiltWorld and get 30 days free access today. VIZZDA.com. And then, so you were just helping people build websites and
get their business online.
Yeah.
Like, it was so long ago, but it all varied. Some small projects, some big long-term projects. It was kind of like that.
So you were doing a lot of consulting work for different businesses.
Yeah, correct.
And how long did you do that for?
Oh, a while.
Because in a way, you're still doing that.
Correct. Yeah. I've never had like a job.
Yeah.
So, a while, like 7-10 years. I don't know. I mean, still, like, I don't. Yeah.
And so, but you did that in New York for how long, and then how did you end up in Miami?
So I ended up in Miami about, I keep saying 12 years, but it might be 13 now, like 13 years ago. And at the time, I was living mostly in Switzerland, and for about 4 years.
What were you doing in Switzerland?
Nothing Swiss related.
Nothing? Skiing?
No, I don't ski, actually. That's funny. No. But I was there like half the time. New York half the time, 1 year, and 1 year in Serbia, because I hadn't spent time there as an adult. And so then it was time to come back.
But what were you doing in Switzerland and Serbia? Were you just doing this consulting work still?
I was working on one project in specific back then.
Okay.
Yeah, which was remote. And then it was time to come back to America. And Miami was kind of an experiment, like a 6-month experiment. Because I used to love, New York was home. And I for a lot of my life, like I really loved New York City. That's part of why I wanted to stay. Part of why I went to Columbia is that all I really knew. I didn't care about Columbia, to be honest. I didn't care about school. I just wanted to stay in New York. I loved New York.
Yeah.
And that was just the best school in New York. Okay, so I went there. But for most of my life, I thought that I could live in New York forever. I love New York City. And so now it would be very hard to get me to go back. But that was my mindset back then, and most of my friends live there. And so I thought, okay, as long as in my mind, I could always go back to New York. But as long as I was kind of moving, I said, okay, let me try Miami and see how it is. And then I ended up staying.
So what brought you to Miami?
It was very random. There's not a good reason.
Yeah? You just came here and...
Just check it out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You checked it out and you liked it?
Yep.
What did you like about Miami?
Like all of it.
Yeah.
I remember this was again long before the COVID.
What year was this?
So 12, 13 years ago.
2013, 2014, something
Yeah,
like that?
correct. Yep.
Okay.
And I remember that was long before the COVID fueled boom.
That was like right when we were coming out of like recovering from the 2008 crisis. Like I think 11, 12, real estate was still really cheap. Everyone was kind of like,
So you're one of the pre-COVID New Yorkers.
Far pre-COVID.
Which are much cooler than
much cooler. Now it's just cool. Now like everyone's coming. We came before.
I
like
mean, we were here gentrifying Miami way before they came.
How long have you guys been here?
I've been here since 2010, so 15 years.
Okay, similar. And you?
Yeah.
I've been here 25 years.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've been gentrifying the shit out of Miami for 25 years.
No, I remember looking across
up.
like Biscayne Bay and seeing like it felt like a new frontier.
Totally.
And maybe because like Zurich is so old. Like Zurich, you have to go back 250 years to see a difference in the street. Literally, there's a store that sells these little old drawings of detailed drawings of the street, and they're dated. And 250 years ago, the street's the same, just the tree is smaller. Literally, that's it.
Wow.
And you get to Miami, and I remember looking across the Biscayne Bay and going from Miami Beach and saying, wow, this city feels like the frontier. Like I felt it. And that was long before COVID supercharged it.
And I mean, listen, Zurich and Miami, like we were just in Zurich about a year and a half ago. It's like everything is perfect. Like there's not one piece of paper on the ground. Like everything runs. Like it's like trains everywhere, trams everywhere. It's like you don't have to do anything. Like everything is done for you. Like in Miami, it's not like that. It's rough. Like the transit doesn't work. It's a little dirty. Like when I first moved down here, I grew up in and around New York, and I came down to Miami, and I'm like, this place is fucking terrible. Like it's like,
especially 25 years ago.
Yeah, it's like
Oh yeah, that was
it wasn't organized, right? There was no infrastructure. Like people just threw trash out
You're
of their
starting to sound like
cars.
a gringo over here.
Yeah, I'm like,
what's wrong with him?
I'm like, this is not the United States.
No, it really isn't. Though.
You know?
it's
it really
true.
isn't.
That's the point.
That is the point, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in Zurich, I always felt like I was doing something wrong.
Yeah.
It's like I'm talking too loud, like I'm doing something wrong. It's too perfect for
Yeah.
me. I feel much more comfortable here. But no, so I appreciate that it felt like the city was really like about to pop. I felt it. I felt like it was in this position, had all these ingredients. And then also just simple stuff like the weather is so good. You take this for, I mean, I grew up with seasons. I never minded the winter, but now it would be very difficult for me to go back to a place with winter. It's healthy all year round and it adds up.
I think the cool thing about Miami, kind of what you're speaking to, that I always tell people is you got to embrace the shit show. Like there's no rules, which is bad and good.
Accept it.
Yeah.
Like have fun with the
Like,
chaos.
it cuts both ways. Like you can drive over the median and no one's going to care. Like it's totally fine.
I actually just did that yesterday.
I mean, you can do it. Yeah, correct. Exactly.
Yeah. No one cares.
I love it.
You do that in Minnesota, you're pulled over, ticket.
They'll be like, that's the guy.
Someone would have narked on you. They would have called the cops.
Oh, totally. Exactly. No. So I'm from East. I am from Eastern Europe, so I appreciate the chaos. Like it's nice. Things are happening.
So what brought you into this like analytics role into real estate? Like how did you get here?
Right. Yeah, that wasn't exactly super planned out from the beginning either. It was when I decided to stay here, I started just learning about the city, talking to people and observing the city. And it kind of goes back to my impression that I felt the city was really poised to grow. I kind of felt it. And then real estate.
It sounds like you appreciate cities, right?
I do.
Yeah. So you're an urbanist.
I am.
And that probably comes from your upbringing in New York.
Yes, I'm definitely an urbanist.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never not lived in
a city.
Right. I do appreciate like extreme country. Suburbs, no, but like the sticks are great. You can shoot guns, do whatever you want. It's
Idaho,
awesome.
Montana,
Minnesota.
Minnesota I've not been to, but other places I have.
No need to go.
I've been to mines in Idaho. I took a whole trip once climbing in mines. It's the best. It's so cool. So like the real sticks, I kind of love that.
Me too.
Yeah.
So you saw that city poised to grow, and you're like, I got to get involved in real estate.
Yeah, correct. I started meeting people in the industry, developers, just people, just all around. And then I got a real estate license. And then really it was for my own purposes. How I think, I need to understand the market. And so I would just download all sorts of raw information, which I still do, from the MLS, from tax records. And like for me, I have to chart things to see how they're going. That's just how my brain is.
I mean, this is like music to our ears, man. Like this is like the shit we do too.
We do.
Yeah.
So I started charting it all, seeing it all, because I couldn't really find, in commercial you could find data, in residential not so much, especially back then. It was very difficult to find any good information, good research put out in the market that showed you the whole market cycle, that wasn't just some weird year-over-year view which tells you nothing. You have to see the whole cycle. I couldn't find any of it. So I made my own. And it was really for my own purposes. And I had a friend / mentor, and he'd been in the real estate for a while, and he said, wow, this is so interesting, like you should publish it. And I was like, this is such obvious basic information, like who cares? And he's like, no, it's not that obvious to everybody. And it took him a few months to convince me, and then I started publishing it, and that's when my track friends were calling me analytics, and that's kind of how it started.
So where did you start publishing this? Just on our website?
Yeah, like 10 years ago, and it kind of evolved.
And then who started picking up the data?
I think the first article I was ever in was in the South Florida Business Journal. I think shout out to Brian Bandela, who many times worked with him since then. But I believe he was the very first one, if I'm not mistaken.
That's awesome.
Brian's been a guest on our podcast.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
I've worked with Brian for a long time. I appreciate him a lot.
We had a couple of drinks with Brian. I think we had some
up
beers with him.
Yeah,
up in Hollywood, right?
Yep.
He's a cool dude. You know, he writes science fiction novels.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, Brian's awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So Brian basically kind of put you on the data map here of South Florida in a way.
I mean, maybe because it was Brian early on, the real deal early on. It was all kind of around that same time period.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just evolved from there over time.
And were you making money from the website or from just selling real estate?
Selling real estate, yep.
Got it.
So I don't really like the business model of selling data. I've done it before, and it's too many.
It's excruciating.
It's too many transactions for me, and I don't really want to talk to that many people, if that makes sense.
Yep. We've both done it.
Yeah, I've done it before too. Yeah, so it's really what it evolved to is that over the years, over the 10 years, the reports have become an industry standard. I'm quoted in all sorts of press. I was a governor of the Association of Realtors for 4 years. You can't do it for more than 4 years in a row. So I speak at all the events, and so it's kind of become it became like a thought leadership tool, a branding tool.
Got it.
And so I publish quarterly reports for free on the website. I also do, the press uses it. I'll do deep dives for reporters when they call me. And then so I consult with developers, helping them figure out what to build based upon projections realities of the pipeline and so forth, and then also just brokerage or placing people as LP in projects, things like that.
That's awesome. I mean, it's rare, not to knock on realtors, but it's rare to find someone as analytical as you.
So I kind of can't help it. That was the issue.
Yeah, but that understands the numbers and actually looks at, like I was reading through your presentation. I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like you're taking into account the macro cycles. Like I don't think any residential realtors do that.
No.
They just throw a price, throw it up on MLS, and they're glorified tour guides more or less.
Yes.
So it's really interesting to hear the data side of it.
The macro cycle stuff I find interesting. Like it's fun for me. That's what I do when I give presentations. Like I did a big one at Inman at New World Symphony in May, and that was kind of like how macro cycles are pushing money towards these places such as Miami, migrations of global wealth, all those things. And those are real forces, because the main thing to realize is that, one of the main things, is that anybody can tell you the median price is X. You can look that up, right? But a price is just a snapshot in time. It's really not interesting. It doesn't tell you directionality. To figure out directionality, you have to figure out what's pushing what you see around you. What are the forces creating the reality that you see? Then you have to recognize that, barring a black swan event, nothing happens in a vacuum. Things have cycles, and they're interplays of forces. So if you can identify these things, then you can start to project where markets will trend.
And I was looking at your presentation. I love this slide. First question, why is money flowing and what forces are driving it? To where is the money flowing and what will the future look like? Mm-hmm. Why is money flowing and what forces are driving it?
Right. So I think that we're in an interesting period in history that I think is defined by rapid change. And this is something that I've learned that people struggle with. Over these 10 years of publishing what I consider to be relatively simple charts, I have seen that even given very clear directions, most people are not trained to, or they didn't have the math background, whatever it is, to trust the extrapolation of the charts. They can't quite see where things are going. And so when I tell people things, for example, like that change is inevitable, we have to recognize that the reality that we thought was normal, right before COVID, right? That was a 20th century creation. New York was the capital of the 20th century world. This is a post-World War II, post-Bretton Woods, pre-internet creation. That's that era. And nothing is forever.
Let's talk about Bretton Woods quick, because I just want to make sure listeners understand what that is. Okay. When you say post-Bretton Woods, what are you talking about?
So basically there's this post-World War II world where the U.S. really became the attractor of the global brain drain, right? Because if anyone won World War II, it was America. That's really when America and when New York became the financial capital of the world. So Bretton Woods was basically when the U.S. dollar became the reserve currency of the world. And that is the reality in which we've lived in since then. And that is the reality in which New York City has been the capital of the world. And I tell people before this, London was the capital of the world, and before that it was Amsterdam. And those cities didn't blow up and die. It's nothing that dramatic. They're still huge cities, especially London. But there's a shift in focus that happens, and it's inevitable. And this is always the case. Nothing is forever. Yep. And people have trouble with this. They really do.
Well, it's like the whole issue with like NIMBYism, right? Is like people, people need to understand that change is the only constant, right? Mm-hmm, like you can't, staying stagnant is not progress.
Change is the only constant, and people seem to think there's this fallacy in human nature. They think that the present is sacrosanct, but it is not.
Yeah.
It is not. And I think it's because people don't know history, they don't read, I don't know what it is.
And it's scary.
Correct. Change is scary.
Yeah.
And on that topic, there are periods in history that are characterized by rapid change. It's not always rapid change, but there are periods where it happens. The post-World War II period was one of them, and I think that we're in a similar one right now. And I think that one of the important things to sort of recognize is that all these capitals that we have, capitals of commerce like New York, were established before the internet. And the internet came late 20th century, but it wasn't this amazing fast thing that we have now immediately, right? It was like dial up, all these things.
Oh, yeah.
And it was incorporated piecemeal into existing habits and existing infrastructure. COVID came and disrupted habits long enough, I think, to allow at least some people to form new ones. And I feel like there's this dispersal of wealth and talent that's happening, and the patterns in our country are super clear. It's very heavily capital and talent leaving high tax jurisdictions. That is the clear pattern, like bar none, that is the pattern. It's very, very obvious. And I've made charts with this showing, like taking from census data, and you can make a column saying, okay, top 10 gainers of population, top 10 losers. And I made a column showing the top marginal tax rate of that state, and then also showing the political affiliation of the sitting governor for that year. And the correlations are so obvious and so huge that everyone is leaving blue states that are high tax and high lockdown.
And to reference your chart, out of the top net migration, the top winners out of the top 10, only 2 are Democrat.
Correct. Yeah.
And out of the top losers, only 1 is Republican.
That's right.
So
Correct.
Texas, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, those are all the big winners. Arizona, Georgia, Indiana, Oklahoma, Virginia, Tennessee.
Exactly.
So
Then you have to ask yourself, why would this reverse? Why would people at scale or like net, why would they start going back to high tax states? They're not going to.
They're not going to.
Nope.
Isn't it incredible that whenever the government dabbles in messing up with free markets, they always get the opposite of the intended effect? I feel like every single time, whether it's rent control, whether it's taxes, they always get the opposite of the intended effect. Oh, let's increase the tax rate. We'll get more money. You're going to get less money.
It's the same script all the time.
Every time.
It's amazing. I mean, look at the guy running for mayor of New York.
Yep.
I actually can't. Someone sent me a video of his a few weeks ago, and I hadn't really listened to him much, and I was very tired. It was late at night, and I played this video, and I thought it was AI. I said, wow, he's actually saying this.
Yeah. It's all politics. It's all population contest.
But it's the same script each and every time, and it's back to point of change. It's like change is, history is change, and what do we really think about when we think about change and how people sort of the herding behavior of people. That's really what change is. Mm-hmm. And I had it in a chart once. I said, like, history equals change equals the cyclical aggregate of human herding behavior. And it's never, human nature is the constant. It's never new. And people always think this time is special, and the same script will repeat itself. Like we have the, person who will probably be mayor of New York quoting the Communist Manifesto, quite literally. He talked about seizing the means of production. And somehow this is going to turn out well. It's not.
Yep, makes sense. And I love the chart you have in this presentation that shows like the arrows that kind of quantify the amount of AUM migration.
Oh yes, the AUM. I know. Florida now has more AUM than the state of Connecticut.
It's insane.
It is.
It's insane.
Correct.
And do you think this trend is just going to keep continuing?
So yeah, the question is, why would it reverse?
Right.
That's the question.
I guess if we run out of schools and housing,
schools can be built.
Yeah.
Stephen Ross is addressing this. Where there's money involved, the school problem can be solved. But how do you solve the problem of hostilities towards capital?
Yeah.
And that's the pattern. So why would there be a net reversal back to high tax states that were high lockdown?
I guess if somehow it flips in New York and they go back to Republican. But
good luck.
Exactly.
I mean,
I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm steelman in the.
Anna's looking at you like there's no fucking chance that's happening.
Hey, I'm just trying to steelman the argument. I'm fully on your train. Yeah. I'm on board. I'm just.
It's sad. Like I love New York City, but this guy, I can't believe it.
It's wild.
Well, hold on, but we're not sure he's going to be the next.
It's like 90%. Look at betting odds. Go on Poly Market or something.
Yeah, is that what it is? 90%?
It's like 80 or 90%.
Oh shit.
Wow. No, I know.
Yeah. I trust the analytics.
Yeah,
girl.
I do it too.
It's very high. It's very high. Did you see the video of him failing on the bench press?
Oh, yeah,
I did. Yeah. Against Suarez was doing it.
Well, Suarez made a side-by-side juxtaposition.
Yeah.
But this guy, he was at some event and he was like, oh, it was like the bar. It's like 105 pounds.
Was it a 105?
It was, yeah.
Oh, man.
I think it was the bar. People are saying
That's
135,
sad.
but I think it's the bar.
Ooh.
And he failed so miserably. It's terrible.
What does that tell you about him?
He's a total wimp. That's what it tells me. What does it tell you? I mean, listen, what is the quote about being scared of what weak men are capable of? There's a great quote on this, and it's very true. It's like, I'm going to misquote it, but it's something to the effect of like, if you're not dangerous, it doesn't mean that, like, if you're not capable of harm, if you're not capable of being dangerous, you're not being benevolent when you're being peaceful. You're just weak. Mm. The real power is in not using it, actually, but being able to. And there's that premise of like, are you scared of powerful men? Wait till you see what weak men are capable of.
Right.
And that's 1,000% true.
Yeah, like, that makes sense.
And if anyone is going to destroy New York City, quoting the Communist Manifesto, like at least wear camo and have a machine gun. It's so sad. It's so sad.
I love this other slide. You have the income of the top 1% accounts for over 40% of total taxes levied. Mm-hmm. Similarly, in California, the top 1% of taxpayers account for almost half of the taxes levied. Losing high-value taxpayers decimates a tax base and budget.
Correct.
And we're seeing that in California right now. All the mansion tax, all the bullshit taxes they're passing there. They've had enough. The crime rate's out of control.
It's quite crazy.
Yeah.
If you lose just 10% of those people, what have you done? And wealth is increasingly mobile. That is the pattern. And people, wealth is leaving what we can call pre-internet epicenters, because those epicenters happen to be hostile towards capital.
And it's more mobile than ever because of the internet and everything else, all the technology. And these are momentum cycles that feed. Like, people are not good at projecting where markets and things go. So the effects of this are not felt immediately, but they build over time.
And it's difficult to reverse.
You know, Felipe, ever since we moved into Bureau, my productivity has been through the roof. I mean, I might actually be getting things done for once.
The energy at Bureau just makes work fun. Plus, with 8 locations across South Florida, from South Miami all the way to Hollywood, there's no excuse for not finding a spot to get your shit done, Ben.
And we're not alone. Over 500 local companies call Bureau home. Everything from creative agencies and real estate firms to tech startups, law firms, and media companies. It's a melting pot of brilliant people, and we don't include ourselves in that category.
We definitely don't include ourselves in that category. Bureau really has space for anyone, whether you're flying solo or have a team. There are suites starting at 100 square feet all the way up to 2,000 square feet. They also don't try to lock you into long-term agreements, and everything is month to month.
Let's not forget the important stuff either. The coffee is top tier, staff is incredible, and has a very entrepreneurial vibe. It's not just a workspace, it's a place where work actually gets done.
That's right, Ben. So if you want to level up your workday like we try to do every day, check out Bureau. You might even catch us sipping some espressos between podcast sessions.
Or tequila.
Definitely tequila.
Tell Bureau the Built World sent you, and you'll get 50% off your first month's membership. See you out there. Cheers.
Later.
If your Instagram is collecting dust, so are your leads.
That's why we started working with Sage Marketing. And I gotta say, they're dialed in, Ben.
Yeah, they'll build out your content, help you with your brand voice, and even create custom reels for you. Stuff that looks good, authentic, and performs.
Whether you just need strategy, someone to train your team, or you're ready to hand it all over, Sage has packages for whatever level you're at.
And the best part, you can book a free 15-minute discovery call. No pressure, just a quick call to see where you're at and how they can help.
Hit up socialmedia.sage on Instagram or check the show notes for the link. If you're serious about growing your brand this year, this is the move.
And I want to zoom back into Miami, but I'm going to zoom out for a second, because what worries me about everything that's going on right now is really just the federal debt. Like, we're at like 36 trillion,
I agree with
right?
you 1,000%.
When does the tail end of that 10-year bite us in the ass? Does that keep going? Can we outgrow it? Or the demographics don't suggest that we can anymore?
The demographics do not suggest it.
So when does that reckoning come?
That is the question of our lifetimes, actually.
You don't have a chart that tells us?
I don't. That's the big mystery. You know, when we had ZERP
Get her off the podcast. We want answers, Anna.
I know. When we had like ZERP for 20 years, right?
Right.
That was a historic anomaly also.
Yeah.
In the history of money, that's a very rare event. So we're in a very unique sort of, I mean, Elon Musk has been tweeting about this all the time, and he's absolutely right. What he's been tweeting about extensively are that, and then, well, illegal immigration and that. Those are history topics, but he's right.
Yeah, but we almost need immigration at this point to outgrow the deficit, no?
What does that mean, though?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. Because wasn't that Buffett's thing? As long as the GDP growth outpaced the deficit growth, we were okay. Right. But it seems like no one's having babies anymore.
Across the world, besides sub-Saharan Africa and some other places.
We're probably better positioned in the world, on that level. But still, I don't think it's enough to outpace that 36 trillion and growing.
I don't know what the answer on the horizon is. It doesn't exist.
So how about on the ground in real estate? Do you factor that into anything, or would we just kind of ignore that and just plow straight into the wall until it...
So I think that real estate is a relative game, because it's how is this place better, relatively speaking, than another.
That makes sense.
And then relatively speaking, we're doing very well against the rest of the landscape, because there's nobody who's not in trouble similarly or worse.
And you think Miami is probably the top market poised to benefit from all this?
One of them, for sure.
What are the markets?
Sure. Oh, in America?
Yeah.
People are going to Texas. It's personally not my cup of tea, but Texas is...
That's too gringo for you?
It's way too gringo for me. I can't. Listen, I grew up in America, but it was New York City.
I get you.
It's too gringo for me, but Texas is doing very well. I think that we're going to see increasing divides between realities across America, depending upon the governor or the prevailing power structure of the states. I think we're going to see growing divides in quality of life and just legalities across the country. I think that's the phase that we're in.
And what does that culminate into?
Nothing great.
No, it doesn't sound good.
No,
more division is not what we need right now.
Absolutely not. But that's what's happening. And we see with the presidential elections. Listen, we have parts of one half of the equation thinks the other half is crazy, and increasingly so. And that's just where we're at. What I thought was kind of the culmination of all of this, what my allegory of our times, was the trannies in women's sports.
Yeah.
That to me was like, wow, we've gone completely insane.
Insane.
But it was a great example because it's insane. Yet, allegedly, you have this portion of the population that thinks it's great. Mm-hmm. And my thing was like Leah Thompson, whatever, the swimmer.
Yep.
All these people sucked as men.
Right.
All of them.
Right.
This is like the pattern, okay?
Right.
They're like man number 400.
Yep.
Next year, they're a champion.
Yep.
And the mainstream press is going, wow, you're so brave.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you can't make this up anymore.
Yep.
It's like, bro, you're in a pool full of chicks. Like, what are you doing?
Or like the boxer. I think the boxer, was it more gray? I don't know.
So the boxer, right, the Olympic boxer, right. So that was most likely some type of chromosomal abnormality.
Okay.
But this is why.
But there have been fights, haven't there?
Of course they have, and now they're going back on that, right?
Yeah.
So it's I mean,
to me, that's the most egregious. If you have like a man fighting a woman, it's like, dude, what is this?
it happened actually in MMA. There's Fallon Fox. Google that. A straight up transsexual fractured a woman's skull.
It's insane.
It's completely insane.
Insane.
And yeah, you can Google it. It's a whole thing. I know it's completely insane. And I you know, to the extent to which that was reality, that to me was an example of the craziness of this era and how we have completely incompatible belief systems across our country.
But I think it's all that's exacerbated by social media.
100%.
When I talk to people and they're like, oh, I'm really unhappy with how things are going, I'm like, you can put your phone down, right? Like, everyone that you meet in the real world seems pretty chill.
Yeah.
For the most
Correct.
part. I don't really talk to people that we see that differently on, Like, I'm a free markets guy. I don't really label myself as left or right. I'm kind of more libertarian. I believe in free markets. Like, that's kind of it. I don't really know what else to believe because everyone's so crazy.
They're totally nuts.
And when you meet people in person, everyone seems pretty down the middle. But when you get on your phone, it's like total ape shit.
The loudest voices there
crazy.
that are annoying.
It's crazy. And
Correct.
people are fully bought into it. They believe it's reality. And when I'm on Instagram, everything I see, I'm like, I don't know if this is real. Like, who knows if this is real?
I don't know if any of it's
This
real.
could be a Russian bot farm. Like, I don't know.
No, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Correct. But listen, most people let it affect their psyche. That's actually the tragedy.
Yeah, exactly.
And it should not. And I think it just
Exactly.
replaced TV. That's what my point is. Like, the 20th century gave the world, America, this middle class. It was a novelty, right? You had a huge portion of the population that was separated from survival imperatives, which is not a historic norm. And then unfortunately, barring survival needs and discipline related to survival needs, what did most Americans do? They became obese and they watched 4 hours of TV a day.
Yep.
And that now is replaced by social media.
Yep. Scrolling.
100%.
So that's just human nature. It is what it is.
I mean, I'm guilty of it for sure. But at least I know most of it's fake. I don't really get riled up about it. I just enjoy my snowboard.
No, I do too. I just laugh at it.
I enjoy my snowboarding videos and my stand-up comedy and everything else. I'm like, I don't know.
But the men and women's sports, that was my issue for years. Because to me, it was like, if you're capable of believing that is okay, where has your brain gone?
No, that's crazy.
And what else are you capable of?
That's crazy.
And I would have because I'm like a very high-level athlete for a woman. And so I train mostly with men. And when I was a sprinter, I was at the track with my guys, and it's like a bunch of guys and me, and they're like, super ripped athletic guys. And I would have completely normal looking people come up to me and they're like, oh, like, when's your next track meet or whatever? Okay. Oh, so do you compete with men or do they keep women separate? Totally normal looking people would ask me this. And I remember looking at them like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I'm like, no, like, of course it's separate. And they're like, oh, but like you train with guys and like you beat, these other guys there. I'm like, they're not my level of athlete. And the guys that I train with, there's no woman in the world. Like, what? No. Of course they keep it separate.
Right.
And they're like, oh, like, do you think that limits women? I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, no, I've had these conversations with normal looking people. Like, they're not crackheads. That's like the extent of the brainwashing.
Well, that's kind of, where have I heard this? It's kind of, don't they say that that's a symptom of an advanced society? Is they start going into these like weird trans things.
Because you're removed from survival.
Right. Like the Roman Empire, didn't they, that kind of happened towards the end? Like they were getting real weird with stuff.
Totally. Even in jiu-jitsu, people ask me, they're like, someone asked me the other day, they're like, oh, you compete with men or is it just women? And I'm like, you're kidding me right now.
I bet you can kick a lot of guys' asses.
So I do, to be fair. I do.
I
I absolutely do. But they're not my level of athlete. This is like the difference. The guys that are my level of athlete, you just bounce off of them. There's no woman in the world. So anyone who's not like a professional or a super high level athlete, like, yes. But compared to a guy who's a real athlete, no.
Right.
But people have delusions also. It's a separate part.
Totally. And everyone's looking for a way to be special these days too.
Yeah. No, they are.
What's up, Builties? Popping in to let you guys know that Cafecito Club is popping off again September 12th at the Brightline station.
Yeah, this is going to be our 4th Cafecito Club. We started back in May, and it's just been growing. We have a ton of cool people coming out and just chilling with us, sipping some great coffee, some great conversations. So we're going to be at the Central Fair Food Collective on September 12th, 9 a.m.-ish Miami time. Join us. network and meet some other cool people.
Yeah, I mean, look, networking is just so annoying, but this is the best way to do it.
Yeah, it's super chill. No name tags.
No bullshit. Just come say what up, grab a coffee, and if we all suck, you can leave right away.
Yeah, and generally we're there from 9 a.m. to 10:30ish, 11. So pop in for 5 minutes, stay for an hour and a half, and we hope to meet some of our listeners there. Some of our guests will be there as well.
Looking forward to seeing you guys there. This episode is brought to you by Built World Advisors. Yeah, that's us. We're not your typical commercial brokerage. We combine deep market knowledge with a media platform that actually connects to people doing deals, the developers, brokers, architects, and attorneys.
Let's not forget the investors, Ben. From warehouses in East Hialeah to off-market gems in Allapattah, we help you find value where others aren't looking. If you're tired of waiting for opportunities to land in your inbox, let's talk.
Built World Advisors, real estate for the people who get shit done. You can check us out at builtworldadvisors.com. So where are we at in the Miami cycle? It feels like, I feel like people have been calling for a crash since 2015. Everyone's like, oh, the next 08's, it's a 7-year cycle. It's coming any day now. And it never came. It kind of slowed down in 1819, but where are we at today? We talk about it a lot. Like building new buildings is impossible unless it's ultra luxury.
Because they can't deliver under.
Doesn't make sense. Construction costs are too high.
No, you can't sell it for less than $1,200 a foot in Miami, really.
Exactly.
So.
Rents are flat to down year over year, and construction costs just keep going up.
And then another question is demographics, right? We keep hearing that Miami's losing population. Is that actually true? And is
net loss? Yeah.
Net loss is people are moving out of Miami, but it's wealthier people that are moving in and working
population replacement.
Yeah,
that's been a phenomenon here.
But overall, there's a net loss in population. So, what's the truth there?
Okay, so I'm going to start with where we are in the market and like the crash and so forth. So, bubbles are not built on cash. That's like the main important point to emphasize here. In the previous cycle, when there was a crash, was because we had crazy usage of debt
and dumb banks. Yeah,
right. And so, when the underlying asset can no longer sustain the debt, you get a crash. It implodes. This market is heavy cash to a level that's shocking. And the higher up you go in the market in terms of luxury product, the more it is all cash. So at just $1 million, the condo market in Miami-Dade for the first half of this year was something like 72% all cash. And then when you drill down to higher prices per square foot, which isolates for new product at prime location because the new stuff is more expensive per square foot, like past $2,000 a square foot, the condo market was 84% all cash.
Wow. Who's buying these? Is it international buyers, domestic?
It's like half-half. And that's the same pattern that you're going to hear from developers selling pre-construction. They don't publish it, but I know them, and if you talk to them, it's half-half. And that's one of the distinctions in this cycle is that pre-construction was previously marketed heavily to Latin Americans. It still is. But now especially for end-user product, now we're getting a lot of buying from domestic buyers. So if a project is end-user, for example, it could even be 40 to 60% American buyers.
Interesting.
And where those American buyers are coming from where mostly? New York,
the high-tax
California?
jurisdictions that people are fleeing from, that same pattern, 100%.
So you think the cycle can just keep going? You don't think there's any kind of downturn?
Well, okay, so like a precipitous crash, it's not built on debt. So I think when you see those crashes, it's because the debt situation crumbles.
Right.
So we don't have that set up at all. We're a heavy all-cash market.
So maybe just a slowdown.
That could be 100%, but there's a stable floor to the market. So I don't see where a crash happens because a lot of equity, a lot of cash in the market. Will it continue on the same surge that it did post-COVID? COVID was a cataclysmic event, which kind of poured gasoline on things, right? So the surge will not be the same. But however, having said that, the segments of our market that are transacting at all-time highs and that actually have volume increases year over year are the super high end. And that story gets lost when you look at the market as a whole, obviously, because it's a minority of transactions. But we're on pace for record transaction volume past $20 million sales and also past $3,000 a foot, which didn't exist before COVID. Past $3,000 a foot's a thing now.
That's crazy. That was only a Manhattan thing before.
Correct.
I saw this chart you have, the drops in transaction volume are at the lower end of the market.
That's right.
So
it's two markets. And this is part of the wealth divide happening globally and in our country, and divide between belief systems, wealth, all that stuff.
It's crazy.
Yep.
So what happens to the lower end of the market? Does it just continue to keep getting
Good question.
unaffordable?
So one thing that I kept saying for a while, the journal, Wall Street Journal published me on this earlier this year. I was really happy about that because I think it's an important point to shine a light on. Below $500,000 is kind of shocking. So in Miami-Dade County pre-COVID, 2019, below $500,000 at any given month, there were around like 4,000 active listings for single-family homes. Currently, they're about 600.
Oh, wow.
It's gone. It's like 80+% decrease. And of those 600 to 700 that are active, half our land value. They don't have roofs. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, so it's just gone. And that is impossible to replace because of land costs, construction costs, so forth. So I don't know. There's a real squeeze.
Real squeeze.
Yep.
And it's hard to build more of that, the lower end stuff.
Very hard. We have the Live Local Act, which is going to introduce, we're seeing the first sort of projects come to life now employing the Live Local Act, but that's rental.
It's rental, and even that's still hard to build.
And it's still hard to build too.
You still have to pay for the concrete.
Yep.
And the rents are what they are. So even if you get better zoning, like a lot of these deals, even if the land is free, it's hard to hit the yields that
exactly.
the equity markets want to see.
Correct. It's a real challenge.
Yeah. The tale of two cities. So you think wealth's just going to continue to pour into Miami?
So I think that we're in a period of, just macro speaking, of acceleration of wealth divides. I think that's going to be one of the main themes for our adult lifetimes. And I think that's why we're seeing outperformance at the very tail of our market, the very high-end tail. So Buffett gave a comment to the Journal or something like 15 years ago, talking about the inevitabilities of wealth gaps in information high-tech societies. And he gave the example that, back in the day, before, technology that we use today, if you were super smart and capable, chances are you still stayed in your town and you would be a little bit more successful than your neighbor, but not 1,000 times more successful. But now you are. And now people move and they concentrate in pockets. And I think that, and back to my point about most people watching 4 hours of TV a day and getting obese, right? Most people, for whatever reason, do not have the ability to enact self-discipline, to avail themselves of all these amazing tools and things that we have, right? You could take MIT classes for free. You have all this information on the internet that you could use to make yourself better. But most people scroll, they watch porn, they're doing whatever, right? They're doing what they do with TV. They didn't change their habits. Human nature is human nature. So the availability of technology and what it allows you to do gets used by a small percentage of people that separate themselves from the others. And I think that was his point. And now with AI coming in, whatever that's going to do for us, I think that's going to benefit also a small percentage of people, like a shrinking percentage of the people who benefited from the internet. And that's going to further feed the tail of the super high end.
So what do you think happens to the people that are basically left in the dust? I mean, is universal basic income a thing?
100%. I've been saying this forever. Yeah. Actually, Elon tweeted this recently. There'll be UBI. Of course, there has to be.
But don't you think that even pushes people further into like drugs and addiction, and like once you don't have to do anything, you're like, well, I'm just gonna watch more porn and drink more and
have some donuts.
Yeah. Get fatter and be more of a burden on the healthcare system. I mean, most people, that's tough. Yeah.
It is what it is. Why is America so obese?
Yeah. We're lazy.
Yeah. It's human nature.
And it's easy.
And it's correct.
And cheap.
Correct.
Is the problem.
Correct.
Yeah.
At scale, that's what people do. It is what it is. Like, I'm not criticizing. Sorry. It is what it is. They didn't avail themselves of all these amazing things we have. They got obese and watched 4 hours of TV a day.
Yeah. If that's what you want to do with your time here, I guess.
Right? So, I mean, is the bulk of humanity all of a sudden going to discover discipline and be productive?
No,
exactly.
No chance.
Interesting.
But going back to Miami now, talk to us about demographics.
Right. Oh, yes.
Because, I mean, that's really it really dictates if we're going to continue to grow.
Right.
Do we need another round of martinis for demographics?
We could.
I'm not training this week.
So let me prop up these questions, and then what demographics, and then why are people coming to Miami? What's so attractive about Miami?
I'm answering now. You're off the phone. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of like the secret got out. Enough people came here who have friends at feeder jurisdictions. I mean, I've seen it firsthand. I had friends coming from New York visiting, and they're like, wow, so-and-so also moved. And it ends up being this momentum of people coming and discovering it. And we have, we're gaining cultural institutions. We have things. We have restaurants. We have whatever.
That's what I was going to say, because when I moved here, we didn't have the Science Museum.
Nope. Yep.
There's a bunch of things I could list off, but I'm blanking right now. But the Science Museum is the most notable one to me. But cultural institutions,
we have them now.
The Art Museum, the Science Museum, the
Michelin restaurants, whatever.
Yes.
We have all the stuff. It's all coming
now. We got
now.
a Carbone in South Beach now. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the school situation will get resolved. But it's funny, these things that people criticize Miami for, traffic, schools, whatever. New York was at its zenith and had these problems far worse.
Really? I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Traffic in New York.
And the schools are horrifyingly expensive. There are very few of them. It's difficult to find an education solution. And I'm hoping we can do it better, and I think we can do it better, but these challenges never stopped New York from being at the top of the world, because when a place is considered the place to be and hot, people will suffer indignities to be there.
Makes sense. Even the public transit issue.
which is horrifying in New York City. It has it, but it keeps degrading.
Really?
And people live there, again, suffering indignities and inconveniences that people in Miami would find shocking. But New York was the place to be, so you did it.
And now we flipped.
Right.
Yeah, makes sense.
And so the demographics. So we definitely. I don't remember the exact numbers, but there is data quantifying that we've had population replacement. That the median incomes of people who are moving here are significantly higher than the median incomes of the people moving out.
Right.
And many of the people locally who are moving out of Miami-Dade are moving to Broward.
Got it. So they're not going to another state. They're just
A lot of them are moving to Broward.
just north.
Right. Exactly.
A bright line right away, but bright line's also kind of expensive.
It is correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. That's where I always joke. That's the USA border is Broward.
It really is.
Because once you go up north, there's like Applebee's.
You go to Las Olas, it feels like America.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly. You're like, oh yeah, there's a Chili's. I feel like I'm in America now.
No, and I grew up in New York City, so all of this is a novelty for me.
Yeah,
Exactly.
totally. And I'm going back to your presentation here. Media myth dispelled. Inventory in some cases is far below pre-COVID.
That's right.
What's the media myth that's dispelled here?
Oh, yes. So the media for a while was very averse to printing positive Miami stories. They've gotten better this year, but forever they would not. They just refused to believe that Miami was winning. And I think that this is at least partially due to the fact that many journalists are from our feeder jurisdictions, and their identity politics are averse to our success.
Got it.
And so they did not want us to succeed because we didn't lock down. We did all these things you weren't supposed to do, and yet
it's
we
these
prospered.
fucking New Yorkers again, right? Like
It's the liberals, man. It's the liberal New Yorkers. So,
they can't take it that the 6th borough is better than all the 5 boroughs combined.
We're crushing it.
it's
Yeah.
the liberal New Yorkers, okay, who thought that we should all be in lockdown forever, and we
know.
were not.
We're
all
out
right?
here rollerblading with no masks on. Like,
Listen, I was trained the whole time. Every pro gym stayed open, okay? We were always the capital of combat sports, for example, but then people came to train, they stayed. We had closed gyms. We had all of it.
I mean, COVID
Everyone-
was a thing for like a month here, I think.
Yeah, literally, exactly.
It really
and they're
was.
all sour about it. They're
I know.
sour that we didn't die, okay,
Yeah.
honestly. Like, this is like what it is. And so they were averse to printing positive stuff. I would send it to them, they wouldn't print it. And that kind of changed this year. They started to. And
but you're saying inventory is
okay, so my
below
point to this is,
pre-COVID.
right, so
they were saying,
despite this kind of change where the press now is, because they can't ignore it anymore, like Bloomberg has a new Miami desk, all these things, they're still conflating our reality with the rest of Florida. There are all these headlines saying Florida's in trouble, inventory level spiking, blah, blah, blah. And that may be true in the rest of Florida, but our inventory levels are still below pre-COVID, and that story gets lost. And the point that I'm making is that when people discuss Manhattan real estate or New York City real estate, you would never put it in the same sentence as Buffalo or Albany or Rochester.
Right.
That's not a thing. And so why would you put Miami real estate in the same sentence as Florida State?
right,
You shouldn't.
right. There's Florida's
And that
huge.
reversal hasn't happened yet because
Yeah.
we're at the receiving end of international money, domestic wealth migration, so forth. The others are not, and it's a separate market. Like Manhattan is not the same market as Albany. It has nothing to do with it.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes so much sense. Because when you say Florida, I mean, you got Jacksonville, you got like Destin up north, you got
Correct.
Tampa.
Right. But
Like,
that's okay. They'll come around. They already started to
Orlando.
come around a little bit.
Yeah.
This is the last. Yeah, because even though there has been an uptick, especially so in the condo market, there is for sure a portion of the market that is challenged by that state law change requiring with reserve requirements and all those things. That's in the aftermath of the Champlain Towers disaster. All that is very true. And there are many older condos that did not have good, good financial sense.
many, probably most. Yeah.
Correct, right.
Nobody-
and so
yeah.
they've had doublings or tripling of HOAs. They're not sellable. All these things are true, and there's been an uptick in inventory. This is like siloed. It's separate from what's happening in the new and prime market. So our wealth and talent migration was never buying old product. You weren't coming here from New York and buying a 1950s building. Like you just weren't.
Right.
And so the older stock was never benefiting from the wealth and talent migration, and then it got hit by this law change. So they're really in trouble. Because when we see transaction volume in our market, the spikes are in the super high end. When you isolate for price per square foot, you see it.
Right.
And that's unaffected by the state law change. So it's
Well, those. I mean, it's bad for those people that own in those buildings, but it's good for the higher end developers because they can buy out all those condos cheap and
that's
blow them
the
up.
best hope for those owners.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's not like they're going to pay a bunch of money and fix it forever. Those things are crumbling.
I mean,
Yeah.
we hear it all the time. The ocean air deteriorates the rebar inside of the concrete. Like
Exactly.
it's, there's only a matter of time before those are all taken out. The problem is assembling 100, 150 owners on old condo docks is an excruciating task. It's
Very difficult.
It's like herding cats. It's crazy.
hostile cats.
Hostile
in some
cats.
cases.
Yeah. Very hostile.
Right.
I've been in the middle of some of them. I've done them. It's not fun. It's brutal.
Correct.
But they do get done, and I think as the buildings deteriorate, they'll get done faster.
That's their best hope for those owners.
Totally.
Honestly.
Totally.
Yeah.
But then it's a money grab, and everyone's clamoring over each other, and they think they're owed $200 million when it's really worth $100 million, and it's messy. Very messy. So what does the future look like? That's your third question here.
I'm super optimistic on the future.
Are you?
I am, actually. In general,
For Miami or in general?
In general. I really am. I'm an optimist in general. I think it's important to be one for so many reasons. One, I think like in life, you get what you believe, and the future is made up anyway. It doesn't exist, so we might as well make up a good one and align ourselves with it.
I like that.
But how I also think about it is that if you look at the world, 100 years ago, who would choose to live 100 years ago? I would not.
No,
exactly.
No, I mean, think of even the medical advancements, like
dentistry.
Dentistry.
Right? Like all of it. Who would choose?
1925. I mean, I think that was prohibition, wasn't it? We couldn't be drinking martinis.
But they did.
Yeah.
They just didn't have digital cameras to catch you, but they did. But no, I think the general trajectory of humanity is upwards. I think that's pretty clear. But within that context, it's important to recognize not all places are equal, right? You're not going to spin the globe and put your finger on the globe and find equally good places at any given time. Like you're not. The 20th century was great unless you were in Hiroshima. Like, I don't know, right? So you want to avoid disasters. And ideally, within this context of this universal upswing of the human experience, for the purposes of your lifetime, you want to try to be in a place that's aligned with the upswing.
So you're shouting at everybody to move to Miami.
It's not the only place, but one of them for sure. Like
or Texas.
Other places in the world too. But you want to look at patterns, and the patterns.
Where else in the world is benefiting? And we talk about it sometimes. Where else?
It's a hard
globally,
equation, man.
Like the United States, as screwed as we are by our debt, where else are you going to invest? Like the UK seems like it's on fire. If I'm going to believe my Instagram.
The UK, they really are.
I mean,
they have
people are getting sent to jail for Facebook posts, allegedly, according to Instagram. But it just seems like everywhere else is chaos. I mean,
I agree with you.
I don't know. Where else do you go?
I've lived all over the world. I strongly agree with you. America's a great experiment. I think it's doing awesome. And I think despite these challenges, I wouldn't pick any other place.
And all the the people protesting against the U.S., people that are trashing the U.S., I would encourage you to travel more. Like I've traveled a lot too.
I have too, and I don't think they have. That's the issue.
When you've been to India, when you've been to Egypt, when you've been to these third world countries,
they have no concept of it actually. Especially many women who make these criticisms. I'm like, lady, have you gone to those places?
The private equity wives?
Have you walked on the street in the places you're talking about? I don't think you have.
Yeah, there's literally a dude taking a shit on the corner. Like, I've seen it.
Yes, exactly.
That's how it is.
No, 1,000%. People lose, and that's also one of your earlier points. I think that's also symptomatic of a society that's been very rich and safe for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Coddled.
Very coddled.
Yeah.
They're extremely coddled.
Yeah.
Which is, again, back to the trannies in women's sports. This is all part of that same phenomena. It was like the peak of weird dystopian coddled society, which forgot what reality was.
So are we going to get slapped with reality here with this? Because we talk about Bretton Woods and the U.S. being the reserve currency, but I think ever since the 70s when we off the gold standard, we've been slowly sliding away from that.
We have.
What is it? I mean, I know we kind of already asked this question, but where does that end up?
Listen, at least...
Because even Trump's supposedly Republican, but he's making moves that aren't Republican. Like the Big Beautiful Bill was kind of retarded.
It's super retarded.
So it's like, what?
But then the question with the Big Beautiful Bill, though, is like, how much can he gut the whole system? Because that's what's necessary.
But he seems like he's backpedaling on a lot of things, right?
I mean, you wonder why he has to. I don't know.
He seems like he was going to drain the swamp, but now the swamp's kind of got him a little bit.
The swamp is kind of scary, though, if you think about it.
Sounds like it.
And then you wonder what Elon is doing with them all. So...
Try not to get assassinated, it sounds like.
Right. And he was super instrumental with the Amish in Pennsylvania. That was great. That was the whole... I was watching the Amish early on because the Amish don't normally mobilize and vote. And the Amish got super motivated and mobilized and voted in Pennsylvania. That was the whole thing. I don't
think I really saw that.
Oh, it's a huge thing. Yep.
They voted for Trump because of
Heavily.
Elon?
And Elon was big well, not just because of Elon. They were instigated because the government there had done something bad to a local Amish farmer, some weird overreach, and the Amish got pissed. But Elon was big in mobilizing Pennsylvania. I don't think Trump would have won without Elon and Twitter.
I don't think so either, yeah.
And so that was
Rogan,
huge... Yeah, correct. Well, Rogan came in very end.
Very end.
Which was kind of lame, man.
A little push at the end.
Correct. It was already mostly done by then. I feel like, not to criticize Rogan, but I felt like at that point, he just didn't want to be on the wrong side.
Totally.
because he didn't come in soon enough to really push it.
He claims he invited everybody on.
Who knows?
Yeah.
but no, so all of that was super helpful. I'm a registered independent. I dislike all of them.
Totally. I mean, any politician is a popularity contest. It's disgusting.
And they're part of they're not real power. They're part of the system. And so what Elon was doing to me was highly interesting, because I saw it as an outside force that was coming in, and an outside force that was big enough and kind of crazy enough to not be beholden. And so I was very optimistic about that. But you're right.
He got neutered too.
Something happens.
Yeah.
And there are big forces at play. That's the thing. Like, they're probably like very big, scary, like the military industrial complex is a real thing.
Oh yeah.
Like, go back and look at Eisenhower's speech, and when Kennedy was assassinated and they escalated Vietnam right afterwards, that was like Lyndon Johnson's first act. Mm-hmm. So all of these things are really big forces. So who's to say what anybody can really do? But I'm very optimistic that Elon owns Twitter, because at least that's a channel of some sort. I don't know. But relatively speaking, we're still the best place in the world. Like, where else does one go? Who's not in trouble is the question, right?
Totally.
So who's not in trouble fiscally? Who's not in trouble demographically? They all are.
Have we ever experienced a climate like this historically, where things have reached, like, I feel like everything's at an all-time high across the board. Stocks are at all-time high. Real estate's the most expensive.
Pre-World War I.
Everything's all-time high. Boom, 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 boom. Like, whatever you want to pick, all-time highs. Debt's at all-time, debt's expensive. Equities are expensive. Real estate's expensive.
Pre-World War I.
Really? Is that what it was like?
A heyday, correct. And then World War I is the fascinating war, because people like to focus on World War II because it's more recent, or who knows, for whatever reasons. But World War II doesn't happen without World War I, obviously, or it should be obvious. And World War I, there's like over 1,000 books written trying to figure out why it happened, and it makes no sense. It was the world destroying itself.
The world is what?
Destroying itself.
World War I was? Because it was just Franz Ferdinand, right? It was the one.
So Franz Ferdinand getting right. That was with his wife Sophie. My people allegedly, the Black Hand in Sarajevo, he was shot there, and Sophie also. So that itself wasn't really the cataclysmic event that modern history would lend you to believe. So he was in a morgantic marriage with his wife, meaning that the kids were out of the line of succession because she was deemed to be not noble enough. So he was kind of not a super prime player for the empire. Like, he was obviously part of the royal family, or whatever you want to call it, but he was already in this morgantic marriage. When he was shot, it wasn't even in the news until like a few months later. That was not the event. It's the easy event to talk about, because the truth is very complicated and nobody knows. There are over 1,000 books written on it. And all, you have to keep in mind, like, all the rulers of the day, the aristocrats, they were all related. They were all cousins. And it was some type of interplay between them and the generals who wanted to play with their war games and all of these weird things. It's not clear how World War I started. It's a huge thing. There's like over tons and tons of books written on this topic. But none of the World War II does not happen without World War I. The Versailles Treaty was not a peace treaty. That was a disaster also. And then ask yourself, how many years are between the two wars? Like 21. Mm-hmm. And that's significant because all the men were dead. World War II could not have happened sooner.
That makes sense.
So it happened right when it could have happened. And anyway, so, but like the pre-World War I was kind of there are many parallels in that era and ours.
To today.
Also the uptick in tariffs.
Really? Mm-hmm. You think tariffs had a relation to the war?
I don't know, but that's what happened before the war.
Interesting. Tariffs up from the U.S. or from?
Globally.
Globally.
There was a tariff war of some sorts before World War I.
Interesting. So you think that's where we're heading?
I don't think so, because we have the ability to destroy ourselves now much more than back then.
Right.
That was like trench warfare and all that crazy stuff. But, we wage proxy wars now. And I think that we're going to go the proxy war route for a long time.
The CIA doing their thing.
I mean, obviously, like, it is what it is. That's the power base. I don't know. I don't think anyone who's elected is really the power.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's, yeah.
And what Elon is doing, I don't know. But then they had that, like, weird fight, right?
Yeah.
All those weird things. And then now, like, they're friends again.
Are they?
I think so.
Oh, wow.
Are they? They're broing it out again?
So Trump never lashed out at him. Trump was like, oh, he's a good guy, like he's having a moment type of thing.
I'm surprised, by the way. It's some serious restraint on Trump's part.
It really is. The whole thing is fascinating. Like, I'm not even sure that's the whole, like, I don't know. Maybe it's like a...
Because there's no restraint on Trump.
No.
He
doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't give two fucks.
He doesn't give a fuck, right? So why is he being nice? Maybe this, like, orchestrated? Like, I don't know. Then you have Trump coming to all the UFC events.
Yeah.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah. Yeah, the whole landscape has shifted now. Like mainstream media basically plays no part. Like I don't think anyone watches the news anymore. Everyone's listening to podcasts.
Well, and the important thing to recognize with the news. So I train. I have this great insight because I train with a lot of really young guys. So I train again mostly with men, and as a woman, like your ideal training partner is a guy who's even lighter than you. There are not many of them, right? So most of my guys skew towards younger because younger guys tend to be lighter. So I train with super young guys, like 17 to 25, right?
Okay.
And mainstream media doesn't exist for them.
No.
It literally doesn't exist.
No.
And so it's gone, guys. Like it's dying.
They kind of lost their propaganda machine.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think that most people don't appreciate the magnitude of that because a whole generation literally doesn't even acknowledge its existence. And that's a beautiful thing.
Totally. It is. I still talk to my dad and he'll bring up news stories. I'm like, dude, you got to turn the TV off. Like
no, this is the shit. Like it's done.
Which channel are you watching? Because I can tell.
But hold on a second. Listen. People are also getting their information off like 10-second reels.
And it's an echo chamber.
Is that worse than CNN?
Listen, I mean...
It's kind of the same, yeah.
I mean, listen, I personally like to read the Wall Street Journal. I put a lot of credibility in them. I read The Economist. I respect them. But they're people don't dive deep enough into what is actually happening, and it's just very reactionary to social media.
So I agree 1,000%, but I feel like these people were never digging deeper, and I don't think they have the context to do so. They don't have the historic context. They're being very reactionary to what they see around them because
the reporters
they lack.
You're saying, or the
legacy people consuming, or them. Yeah, they don't have. They're very reactionary to these things around themselves because they lack historic context. Most people don't read at all.
Yeah.
They don't know anything.
Everyone's scared to say, I don't know, or I don't have an opinion on that.
Correct. Exactly.
I don't have an opinion on 90% of the shit going on because I just don't know enough.
100%.
Like it's impossible to know.
It's exactly. And then imagine you had no historic framework.
Yeah.
And you're just reacting to stuff around you
emotionally
without any context to or any ability to put perspective on what you're seeing.
So with everything you're seeing, you're a pro at spotting trends. Where are you putting your money in the real estate? I mean, are you investing in real estate? Are you brokering? Where would you place bets today?
So one of the best performing, residential, single family in Miami, because we can't add more inventory vertically. Miami loves to build, but you can't add more lots vertically. And the best performing, really the best performing segment on a percentage basis in terms of transaction volume and appreciation is prime single family in Miami. Water frontage or anything prime, because you can't add more of it. And they're all anything that's older is getting replaced with something new that's maxing out the lot and more expensive. So that stuff, yes, if one believes the Miami thesis, which I do, then a simple answer is single family that locks in prime land.
That makes sense.
So just bringing this back to commercial real estate, though, you think that the population will continue to grow here in Miami because really commercial real estate follows rooftops, right? And so if the demographics aren't favorable and the population is growing, commercial real estate is not going to do well. So are we going to continue to see people moving to Miami? Is the net migration going to be positive here in Miami?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think like it's not going to be, nothing goes in a straight line. There are going to be like bumps in the force. But I think that fundamentally the things driving population here are not going to go away. And I think that when Mamdani becomes elected mayor of New York, that reality is going to hit them too. And it doesn't, people don't realize, like, it's not like it's going to affect, everyone's going to change their life plans. But if 5 or 10% of people change their behaviors at scale, that's enormous. And I think that these types of forces are going to keep pushing people to jurisdictions such as ours.
I like it. So you think commercial real estate's a good, safe bet here as well?
I mean, also, correct.
Yeah,
I do. We have the lowest office vacancy among top cities in the country.
Office, and I mean, we're very active in industrial, but we've kind of seen industrial spike, in the last 5 years.
That's right,
prices have doubled essentially.
Yep.
So we're kind of seeing that plateau a bit, and I think we need to absorb some of that, restabilize rents. But like you said, it's impossible to build more. So.
Yeah. So we had Ed Easton on the podcast about a year ago, and he said this. He made the comparison with single-family homes. He's like, you're not building more industrial land, and you can't go vertical, right? Like retail, you can go vertical. Office, you can go vertical.
Multifamily, you can go vertical.
You can go vertical. Yeah. And so the two asset classes that you can't go vertical are industrial and single-family homes.
There you go.
Everyone hates a second story on industrial.
Yeah. I mean,
Really?
you can't.
Oh yeah.
I'm not an
Yeah.
expert in industrial. Is that
No.
true? Yeah.
Dude, if you,
Why?
like you try to sell something with a mezzanine, it's just
Why?
You can't move bringing the product up to a second floor is just really tough, right?
Okay.
They want to bring it off the trucks on pallets and pull it in there, maybe stack it on racks if you have high clear heights, but going upstairs is so labor intensive that,
that makes sense.
they just don't really value it.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And then
Second stories in industrial is like a no-go.
And then just, I mean, you can only put stuff in a warehouse on the first floor. Like even if you build the second floor, like the ramps, they do have 2-story industrials in like Japan, but they're so expensive to develop because of the turning radius and all the infrastructure that's required to carry a 18-wheeler up to a second floor.
It's just
That makes sense.
It's just logistically very difficult.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so same type of psychology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this has been awesome. I'm excited for the
Thank you.
future.
Yeah,
I'm excited for the future too. It's a great time
We're lucky that we're here.
to be alive and to be here.
and especially in Miami, right? I mean, this is such a, and I think I've said this before here. I just feel like Miami is what New York was 100 years ago.
I agree.
And people are attracted to Miami because of its diversity, its entrepreneurial spirit. People are coming here from all over the world with different ideas, different business. They've seen businesses that work in these different countries. Let me try to establish a business here in Miami and, mix it in with another idea that I have met with someone from across the world because maybe we can cross-pollinate this business and build it differently. That's what happened in New York City 100 years ago, and I think that's what's happening to Miami.
100%. I agree. And it's still early days. This is what I keep saying.
Exactly.
People are not good at catching on to momentum trends, and it's still very, very much early days for all those reasons.
Yeah.
It's almost like Miami's a microcosm of what the United States represents, which is free markets and freedom. Like the reason that we've been a successful experiment to date is the amount of freedom that everyone's had in the free markets. And when you start fucking with it, it doesn't work. Like I said earlier, the governments always have the opposite of the intended effect when they meddle in free markets. So when they're meddling in New York and California and Oregon or wherever the hell else, Minneapolis, like people are coming, they're attracted to the freedom that we have here.
Well, let me ask you a question here because how do we feel about the government now meddling in putting, taking ownership of Intel and other countries?
I don't like that. I don't think that makes sense, but
I find that a little,
I'm curious your take on it.
It's a little slippery slope.
It's a very slippery slope. And so
people love to throw fascism around there, but that's kind of the definition of fascism, right? Like the government owning stakes in private enterprises.
I agree.
That's literally, I think, the technical definition.
It's very slippery slope.
Yeah. So,
but I do like that he's trying to get some value for the American taxpayer, but there's a better way to do it.
Yeah,
there's got to be.
I agree. So let's not sugarcoat everything that's going on right now.
No, not at
sure.
all. Not at all. Yeah.
I think I'm also kind of down the middle, and I agree with some things they do, but there's a lot of things that I'm like, oof, I don't know if that's
of course.
That's the way we need to be going.
I agree 1,000%.
And so I think we all should be skeptical of government in general. Whether
I'm skeptical of everything in the government.
Exactly.
Like, are you kidding me? The history of the world is governments lying to their people.
100%.
Like, I mean, what was it one of Hitler's, not Goebbels, one of his main guys, there's a great quote here. It was in the Nuremberg trials. I forgot the guy's name. Goering, one of them. One of his main lieutenants, whatever it was. He was like, what does the average man have to gain from war? Like nothing. Like this is like the value of propaganda. His best outcome is that if he returns home and can continue working. We have to convince him to do all of these things, right?
Yeah.
So this is the history of the world, is governments manipulating and using their people. And they lie to them all the time. This is that should be, why people are surprised by this always blows my mind.
Yeah.
And then I have to remember that most people don't know any history because the history of the world, again, is replete with this. It is just governments lying to that's the status quo. They just lie to their people.
Yeah, literally.
That's what they do across the board.
100%.
But within the country, so I have this theory that entrepreneurship, money, the force of creation, all of this, right? It flows like a force. It flows towards the path of least resistance. And we've become domestically, or I think in the world, one of those paths of least resistance. And that's why we're getting these inflows of money and entrepreneurship. And that's a very, very real thing. And it builds positive momentum here. And then it feeds into the negative momentum at the points of departure, the feeder jurisdictions. And we're in the early stages of this. But as long as we are sort of fertile, we have fertile ground and we're conducive to creation, entrepreneurship, we're going to keep attracting it.
But listen, I think it's very important to recognize that Miami is what it is because of the international migration.
Yes.
And I really hope that we can. I do think that illegal immigration is a problem, but we also have to create avenues for people to come into this country legally. And
don't we have them?
I don't know. I don't know if we have enough.
Okay.
I think we have. Probably for the wealthy, yes, but we do need working class people in this country to support, more working class jobs that are likely not going to be filled by the domestic population. And I don't think we have those programs in place. And that's why we've been so reliant on illegal immigration. And I just don't hear any sort of policy coming from our government that are establishing programs of that sort. So
that could be.
Again, we still need to have international population growth to continue the U.S. growth, I believe.
I mean, to your point, that's what New York was 100 years ago, right? The melting pot.
It was a melting pot.
That's what makes Miami special too, is the diversity, all the people.
To the point of New York, though, I agree with you. I mean, I'm an immigrant. I agree with you, but New York 100 years ago, those people, there was no welfare state,
right?
And so when you create, like,
when you got here and you had to figure shit out,
correct,
totally.
So when you create a meal ticket, you get a different type of person,
totally.
And that's what Europe is having. That's what they're experiencing right now. And they have a huge demographic crisis. Huge. Like, everyone Google the city of Malmo in Sweden. Sweden was this...
I've heard of this,
idyllic, whatever place. Now it's like the rape capital of the world because they imported a huge number of single Muslim men who think that women on the street by themselves are their prey.
It's insane.
And it's a crazy stat.
Yeah.
And these stats apply all over Europe. And now the Europeans are finally pushing back on it. But at this point, I don't even know what their solution is.
Crazy.
So, quick question. I've been here 25 years in Miami. Do you think that the rate of growth in Miami continues as the last 25 years, or is it going to be about the same? What's your sense?
I think it's going to be more.
You think it's going to be more? I like to hear that.
So I think that the realities of our reality here, that's a weird quote, are going to continue to diverge from the rest of the country. That's actually what I think is going to happen.
The wealth, kind of like with the wealth gap, just widening.
Yeah. So I think that unfortunately, our feeder jurisdictions are going to double down on their policies that are hostile to creation and to wealth. And we're seeing that in action with New York, with this guy who's going to be mayor, again, quoting the Communist Manifesto and running for mayor of New York City. So I think all of this is going to continue to feed the force that's pushing wealth and creation to us. And I think these things build over time. And I honestly don't see it reversing. So I think that the country is going to keep diverging this way. And I think that our growth is going to supersede, it's going to be greater than that of the rest of the nation for the next 20. I think it's just begun. I think it's just early days, and people aren't catching on to this shift in reality because people are no longer prisoner to their jurisdiction.
Right.
That's the main point. That's the big shift. And COVID broke habits and made this super clear. So if you're going to abuse somebody, at some point you can only boil the frog so long, right?
No, it's interesting to hear you say that because I think people here have seen the crazy growth that's happened since I've been here, which isn't that long since you've been here, Felipe. And to rationalize that this can continue is like, oh no, it's crazy. Like, we're gonna do for something crazy to happen bad, but I think it's very logically laid out that you just said that it's gonna keep.
The main question to ask yourself is, why would it reverse?
Right.
Yeah.
Are we going to see an inflow of wealth and capital and talent into New York City after Mamdani is elected?
No.
Yeah, for what reason?
The problem just isn't Mamdani.
No,
right?
I know. He's symbolic of it.
He's symbolic of the problem. Like, there's going to be, I mean, he's just another, first it was the harsh COVID lockdowns. Now it's Mamdani. It's like, it's different problems that keep coming up that are continuing the population to want to move. But New York is still a magnificent place. People are still moving there. It's not the end of the New York.
No, I agree.
You know, New York is not
London
done.
is still amazing too.
Yeah.
This is part of my whole point.
So they're not cities in decline, but their growth isn't probably going to continue as it has been for the last 50 years, and other cities are going to probably benefit.
Yeah, exactly right. You're correct. It's not a dramatic statement.
Yeah.
It's not like it's going to blow up and cease to exist. But there's a shift in economic focus. And like, for example, there's a stat, this was published about a year ago, that for the first time since this metric has been measured for the last, 80 years, whatever it is, the 6 fastest growing southern states, of which Florida is one, now account for more of national GDP than the Washington, D.C., New York, Boston corridor.
Wow.
So just all part of the shift.
Yeah.
But there's a shift away from London. It's my whole point. Like before New York, London was the capital of the world. Before that, it was Amsterdam. London's a huge, great city, but there was a shift in focus.
Yep.
Money continues to flow. And that's the same thing that's happening now.
So what are you focused on now going forward? Like, how are you making money?
I have a new thing I'm launching.
Let's
I
hear
almost
it.
forgot.
Can we talk about this?
Yeah, sure. So I totally lose track of time because I work I just work and train. I'm pretty boring. And so I was like, I'll launch it during the summer. And my PR people were like, no, Anna, you don't announce things in July and August.
Literally no one's here.
I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Oh, wait,
We skipped publishing a pod for 2-3 weeks because we're like, dude, there's no one here. Like,
Yeah. So that idea was nixed. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, you're right. People don't work in the summer.
It's fucking amazing.
It's
dude.
crazy.
It's
I'm a little jealous to be honest.
I know, me too. I'm working all summer.
But listen, it goes back to that mobility of capital, right? Because people are in Miami, they're here for 8 months out of the year, probably 9 months out of the year.
181 days.
No, I think it's more now. Because
No, I know.
the people are moving down here and they have kids that are in school, so they have to be here till June and they have to come back in August.
Right.
So for 3 months they are gone because it is kind of it's a bit unbearable here for a couple of months.
I don't mind the heat, actually.
I don't mind it either.
I'm weird.
Actually this summer hasn't been that
Oh,
bad.
I hate
No,
it.
this summer's been...
I
Really?
hate
Yeah.
it. I'm from Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm just meant for the cold. There's nothing we can do about it.
I love it.
I'm acclimated, but I'm better in cold.
Well, that's so funny. I'm cold all the time. I become that person who wears a hoodie at 75.
Oh, that's funny. But you got the cold weather blood too. But you
Not anymore, man. It's gone.
Yeah. I grew up there, so it's
I couldn't do winter again. But no, anyways, what I'm launching after Labor Day, we're going to put it out around September 8th. The following week. It's something called MiamiDealSheet.com. So analytics.miami is where for the last 10 years I've been publishing these research reports and market analytics that have become this industry standard. And the press quotes me off of that. And that's kind of going to remain where it is. I publish my quarterly reports. It's like Professor Anna. It's not overtly commercial. It's there. So the next thing, we're going to say it's powered by Analytics Miami. We're going to say it's Miami's first institutional level advisory for residential real estate with a real big focus on the pre-construction pipeline. So when it comes to pre-construction sales as a buyer, as a consumer, you're actually very handicapped because you can't do your own homework. Anyone who's buying residential property can avail themselves of Zillow, whatever, Trulia, Realtor.com. They could do some homework. They can find out something, right? But we have
existing homes, so
Right.
New construction.
She said there's no way to comp out
Yeah,
new
exactly.
construction.
comp out. You don't even know what's
Right.
available.
Yeah.
Right.
Forget comp out. You don't even
Right.
know what the pipeline is. So
It's an interesting niche. I like this.
Yeah, so we have one of the most active pipelines in the country, right, in the residential side. And let's say that you're a consumer and you want to, you have whatever criteria. You want X bedrooms, X dollar amount, certain area, whatever. You quite literally have nowhere to type this in. There's no way to know what's in the pipeline. The best that you can do, because it's not in the MLS, right? So
Yeah.
all these things syndicate from the MLS. So there's no way to know what the timeline is, who's delivering what, who builds good product. It's completely blind. So maybe you can go to a major brokerage that represents a few projects. They're going to sell their book, and you're gonna get some salesperson that has a very limited knowledge, to be nice, even of that book.
We're with you.
All right, yeah.
We've been to those cocktail parties.
Thank you. Exactly. They're gonna be like, "This is great."
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's great.
Yeah.
Here's the
But
pretty
she's got
picture.
Louboutins on, and I'm buying.
She's got Louboutins on and the fake boobs, and
You're
here's-
buying. I'm buying. We're all buying.
We're all buying. And here's the rendering, right? It's going to be
Yeah.
awesome. Or you go to a random realtor and they don't know, nobody knows anything. They know a few projects, literally nobody knows the whole pipeline. So I happen to know the whole pipeline because I consult with tons of them and I keep a very granular database of the whole pipeline. So a major focus of this new platform is pre-construction advisory for South Florida. And we're also going to be doing developer spotlights. So projects that I pick that I consider actually good. Because look, anyone can print a pretty picture in a rendering and say it's going to be awesome, right? But does that person or that group, do they actually deliver good product? What's their track record? Do they actually have, ability to get financing? Like, is this actually going to deliver, like, in the way that you think it is? Yeah. This is not a simple question.
No, it's not. Not at all.
Exactly.
No.
And so we're going to be highlighting projects that I pick that are kind of like stamp of approval, seal of approval projects across South Florida that are good for all these reasons, like their placement in terms of supply and demand in the pipeline, projections of pipeline at their delivery, developer track record, all of these things.
And so how do you make money off that? Are you selling the real estate? Or are you selling subscriptions to this thing? How does that work?
It's primarily a brokerage model.
Okay.
So we're going to be saying that we're specializing in as the independent advisor in pre-construction real estate in South Florida. And
probably not a lot of competition there.
None.
That's awesome.
That's correct.
Great.
You actually have to know the pipeline.
Yeah,
and I really do have the whole pipeline.
That takes real work.
Yes,
yeah.
It takes a lot of work.
It
takes a lot of real work, and it takes a lot of behind the scenes knowledge and actual real knowledge of who these people are, what they're building, what their track records are, what their relationships are. It's not a simple endeavor. It took a lot of time.
100%. Yeah, it's awesome. Very cool.
So how many you have your own brokerage?
Yeah.
Do you have other agents working for you?
Yes.
Okay. How many other agents do you have? Two. Okay.
You trying to steal some agents or what?
Yeah, maybe. Bring them over to the commercial side. I like your approach of, becoming this kind of thought leader in the area. Has that worked out well for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very I have a very serious science background. So I'm very not a salesy person.
Yeah.
Like I kind of don't like it. And so people see me in the press and they reach out to me. And I also, as friendly or social as I may seem, I kind of don't like people at scale, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, so I'm not about
do you like us? Do you like
yes,
us?
You guys are awesome.
Okay. We're right.
But like, I'm not like, my business model can't depend upon like lots of like random low level communications. I don't have like,
I'm with you.
I can't do that.
You lose patience very quickly.
I can't.
Yeah.
It's horrifying. Yeah. I can't do that. I can't pretend that much. I can't.
You just don't like working with dumb people.
No.
The text that comes in and says hi.
Yeah.
It's like,
I
God.
I can't.
Speak.
I can't.
Speak, Forrest, speak.
I really can't. So luckily I've established this kind of industry thought leadership. So I get very good people reaching out. I'm
That's
very
awesome.
I don't really solicit that many people. They see me, both the developers and the end buyers, they reach out. So that's been really good because if I had to like cold call people, I would slit my wrists.
Gotcha.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing. People have great success doing that. And like, God bless them. That's amazing.
It sucks.
But like, I can't.
Yeah.
Like I can't.
Yep.
And
so you really just work with buyers?
I prefer buyers greatly because I prefer buyers. Yeah, correct. Right. So I turn down listings because.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. I don't like it.
That's like the first time I've ever heard of that.
Yeah. They always say buyers are liars, right?
But see, the thing is that it's because most people aren't really experts. If people see you as the expert and they contact
They'll stick with you. Yeah.
Because they've seen you in whatever.
Yeah.
They're actually happy to talk to you because who else are they going to talk to?
Yeah.
They talk to some other agent that has no idea. They're like,
absolutely none. Like, I don't want to be mean, but I can count in one hand the residential realtors that I actually enjoy speaking with.
Yeah. That test should be harder, don't you think? What's the filter?
That test. I'm not even sure the test is the problem. It's the whole industry.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really like, it's amazing. And this took me time because, I came from
are we gonna for the next 10 minutes just shit on residential realtors here? I mean, I can do this all day.
You look excited.
He's happy. Listen, it took me I come from like a serious science background, and before I was in real estate, it was a default assumption that if somebody was older than you, had been in the industry for 20 years or whatever, that they know something. And I had to like reprogram that assumption really fast. The extent to which people make things up.
It's crazy.
It's fucking crazy.
It's like astounding.
Yeah.
And I'm still blown away by this. And I'm like, wow.
The brazenness. Yeah.
It's truly incredible.
Yeah.
But okay, it is what it is.
We see it on the commercial side too.
That's everybody.
Yeah.
I think it's probably across all industries, but it's very pervasive in real estate because the bar is so low to get your license, and everyone's an expert, and everyone knows.
They truly have no idea what they're talking about.
No.
To a level that's so disturbing that I feel bad for their clients.
Like such confidence too. It's
Yes, well, it's no shame.
Yeah, that's true.
It is no shame.
That's actually what it is.
Yeah.
Like they have absolutely no shame, and it's like they're just spewing it out and seeing what sticks on the wall. You know what I mean?
And that makes money. It does
make money. I can't do it though.
It's crazy.
Like I literally can't do it.
No, we're the same. We're the same. We're like almost honest and transparent to a fault.
Me too.
We're
Me
like,
too. Like I can't do it. Like I literally can't do it. I'm like, oh, like these idiots are saying all this stuff and making so much money, but like I can't.
Yeah, we're the same way.
Like I can't.
We're the same way.
But
we're too rooted in reality.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
well, like reality and like doing a good job and having a conscience and
Yeah.
all those things. But yeah, this new thing, it's come out September 8th. So it's at MiamiDealStreet.com. We're launching with
And where can we find this?
MiamiDealStreet.com.
All right, cool.
I'm excited about it. It's going to be powered by Analytics Miami.
And your other website is?
Analytics.Miami.
Got it.
And that's basically where I publish the quarterly reports, and I put like clips from speaking appearances, whatever, but mainly it's a vehicle for the quarterly reports.
I would highly recommend everyone check out the reports. They're really cool. And the way you lay them out, I like seeing the supply demand arrows and colors, and it's easy to scroll through. And
People are very visual, right?
I like that.
And markets are really simple once you dig down to it, like cut the bullshit and what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we've been doing reports. We send out quarterly reports to our submarkets. We're very focused on Allapattah. We do a submarket report for Allapattah.
Yep.
And basic data, but very visual. People love it. Because no one else provides.
No one does it.
No one does that.
That's why I started doing it in the first place, because nobody was doing it.
I mean, for me, even just seeing the price trends on a per foot basis, you're like for the past 5 years, where do you find that?
Yeah, correct. That's why I started
gotta
doing
make
it.
my own graphs.
Exactly. No one was doing like actual market cycles. Like you need at least 10 years to see a market cycle, and nobody was doing it. That's why I started doing that, because that's like my own brain thinks that way.
Me
You have
too.
to like see it all.
Now we got to do more work, Ben. We're only going back 6 years. We got to go back 10 now.
Oh man, I was using COVID as the backstop, but all right.
You have to compare COVID to pre-COVID.
Yeah.
That's the little pivot point in the data.
Yeah, you're right.
But no, we're all lucky to be in South Florida. This is a great place to be.
It is.
It's a healthy place to be.
It is.
Have you guys ever done jiu-jitsu?
No. Never.
That's right next.
You want to fight?
Yeah, we could totally try.
I'm scared.
I'm afraid.
Have you done any type of like martial arts or wrestling?
Never.
Or?
I'm a pure action sports guy, like wakeboarding, snowboarding.
Oh, okay. You?
I did judo for a few years.
Judo's awesome.
When I lived in Brazil.
No way.
Judo's really big in Brazil.
I know.
So I did it for 3 years. It was cool.
I love judo.
Yeah.
Isn't jiu-jitsu Brazilian?
Jiu-jitsu,
because the Japanese guy came there with the Gracies, and so Brazilian jiu-jitsu is basically, when you say jiu-jitsu, you mean Brazilian
it's the
jiu-jitsu?
Gracies,
Correct, yeah. But I do mostly, I love like in the gi, if I could do stand up like judo, if I was a kid, I'd be all in. Judo is amazing. But I dislike jiu-jitsu in the gi on the ground. So I do primarily no gi grappling.
What's that mean?
Oh, so
the gi's
the white thing or like whatever color, like that.
If you're no gi grappling, what are you wearing?
So you're wearing tight clothes that you can't grab. You're not allowed to grab the clothes. They call them a rash guard, but it's like any type of tight clothing or shorts or leggings or whatever, and you're not allowed to grab them. So it starts. The both versions start standing, and you have to take the opponent down. Any whatever wrestling, judo, no gi, judo, whatever it is. And then, wrestling or judo end with the takedown, with the pin. Ippon, perfect takedown in judo, or the wrestling pin, whatever. Jiu-jitsu actually starts at the ground, so the takedown's not enough. Depending on the rule set, you can get like 2 points or whatever for the takedown, but you get points for other stuff too, for controlling positions, etc. And then really it ends with a submission. You get a submission, that's game over, no matter how many points were allocated. So submissions are either chokes or joint submissions.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that what you employ when your buyers are trying to back out of a deal? You're like, hey, I'll choke you out.
Hey.
I don't care.
I'll choke a bitch.
Some of them might like it. That's a whole separate topic of conversation.
I think we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, perfect. That's a perfect outro.
Awesome,
thanks for joining us.
Yeah, that was
so
a
much,
great
boss.
conversation. Thanks for joining us for a couple martinis. And
Martinis were good, by the way, man.
The martinis were excellent.
Thank you. I was a bartender.
It's like my non-training week. I
Yeah.
hit the spot. Thank you.
Hit the spot.
I think we'd probably want to have you back on and to do an
Market
update
update.
every once in a while.
Let's do an update. Awesome.
Yeah.
See where the resi market is.
I'm down.
Yeah. Awesome, Anna.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
Cheers.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.